wanted to know what God said. So on this journey I was on, this started at 16, and I'm still on it today. I'm forgiving the nightmare. That it wasn't like, okay, God, I want to forgive. What I did say, God, I want to know you. I want to know you. And in knowing God is where I started to learn to forgive. Let me explain it this way. I'll put my pastor hat on for a minute. There's a verse in the Bible that says, if you have enough faith, the faith of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. You can tell trees to be replanted. And I didn't understand that at all. What does that mean? And in my prayer closet, I felt the voice of God speaking to my soul. It wasn't audible. It was just to my spirit. And the Lord said, Mark, can you move a pebble? I said, oh, yeah, I can move a pebble. Can you move a stone and a rock and a boulder and a mound and a hill? And through my life, and again, I'm on the other side of 50, God kept helping me to trust him to help me do greater and greater things. So it started with a pebble and it moved to a mountain. Again, there was a lot of ups and downs, lefts and rights. I wanted to give up and go forward. But eventually the Lord would say to me, let's go move that mountain. I knew what that mountain was. It was forgiveness.
That was a great analogy. So as you were talking and sharing your testimony, this came to my mind, and I want to ask this question. Sure. Pastor Mark, did freedom come through your forgiveness, or did freedom come from you when you started sharing your story?
Both, really, really both. You asked me if I had to forgive myself in the previous question. I didn't get to that. So let me answer that. I don't know if I ever had to forgive myself because I always knew I was a victim of what happened. What I had to learn is how to love myself. So Christ says to us, love your neighbor like you love yourself. And believe me, you didn't want me to love you because I didn't love myself very well. So as Christ became more and more in my life, as my faith rised, and again, it was ups and downs, lefts and rights. It wasn't always a perfect walk. I had 1 foot in and 1 foot out. I wanted to give up and, of course, all those things. But as I started to trust God, as I started to love God, I started to love myself. So yeah, I think both things happened. Me forgiving was letting go, not letting go in an unrealistic way, but letting go, saying, God, you are a perfect judge. You will judge my mother. You will judge my abuser in a perfect and righteous way. I know what I wanted, right? I wanted revenge. I wanted God to say, ye there. But I had to give it to God. And I really believe God will judge those who trespassed against me in a godly way. And I would say, so the freedom came by finding forgiveness and sharing my testimony because others find hope in it.
No, that is so good. And one thing I'm glad that you mentioned is that when you forgive someone, that doesn't mean that they can no longer be a part of your life.
Sure.
Once